God, Upanya Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
By Hashem.
Yahweh Shai.
By Hashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Rocket the Yahweh.
Rocket the Yahweh.
By Hashem.
By Hashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Telanawa.
Now.
Hashabbat.
Shabbat.
By Shalom.
Shalom.
The water.
The water.
From Yad.
Yah.
Amen.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the Sabbath day in peace. Thank you, so be it. Amen.
Amen.
La Aisharab and Tazawat, the 10 Commandments in the Lashon Kodash, in the Holy Tongue. Repeat the Hebrew. La'a,
La'a,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Acharim,
Acharim,
Al-Panya,
Alpanya,
La'a,
La'a,
La'aisha,
Aisha,
Laka,
Laka,
Pasal,
Pasal,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Laibadam,
Laibadam,
La'a,
La'a,
Walaqwaqwa,
Walaqwaqwa,
Shamwa,
Shamwa,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aleka,
Alika,
Lashwa,
Lashua,
Zakar,
Zakah,
Hayawam,
Hayawam,
Hashabbat,
Hashabbat,
Lakodashwa,
Nakash,
Kabad,
Kabad,
Abaka,
Abaka,
Wa Amaka,
Abaka,
La'a,
La'a,
Taratazak,
Ratazak,
La'a,
La'a,
Tana'ap,
La'a,
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 Wagana,
La'a,
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 Ta'aino,
Ta'ino,
Shakro,
Shakor,
La'a,
La'a,
Lahamad,
Kamad,
Ko,
Ko,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Lara'aika,
Ra'aika,
Bahashem,
Bahashim,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahushai,
Yahweh Shai,
Amen.
Amen. 10 Commandments in English. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of a thing that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain. For the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High thy power made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in the midst, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his donkey, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua, the water from Yad. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Heavenly Father, great King, powerful, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we praise thy high holy name on this Shabbat day. We thank thee, Yahweh, for giving us the Shabbat day. We thank thee, Yahweh, for returning our heritage unto us. Father Gushai, how we pray that thou send down a righteous angel to encamp with us this evening as we open up thy glorious word and we are taught therein. Put in our spirit to prove all things. Put in our spirit to open up the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding contained in thy holy scriptures, that we may be fed and full with thy glorious righteousness. All this we ask in the name of thy Son. For it is written, all things that we ask of thee, Yahweh, in the name of thy Son shall be granted. Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Duwalat Yad, Amen.
Amen.
You shall be seated. Hallelujah. All praises be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, power of Israel. So we're going to go into these scriptures. Tonight we are going into the fourth part of biblical marriage. So the This is the fourth class. It's going to be the fourth class. There was 3 classes previously that we're going into aspects of the biblical marriage. Okay, we went into the law concerning, laying with a woman and this woman becoming your wife. We went into the endowment. We went into different types of marriage when it comes to, what people call monogamy, what people call polygyny, right? We understand that, these things exist with man, but with the Most High, marriage was never held to these criteria. Only criteria the Most High held marriage to was that it was to be forever, right? If you get a woman, that's supposed to be your woman forever. Okay, if you have 1 wife, 2 wives, it didn't matter with the Most High. It mattered that you have held your marriage forever, or your marriages. Okay, this is according to the word of the Most High. Okay, so we went over these things. We're going to continue in biblical marriage. Now we're going to go into, I was asked about ceremonial aspects of the marriage and how they're depicted in the Holy Scriptures. So we're going to go into that, and as well, we're going to go into, what we consider a good marriage and what we consider an off marriage, and that'll be in the Scriptures as well. All right, but all things are written in the Word of Yah. So let's open up with Colossians 3 verse 17, giving all praises to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him.
Right, we do all things giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by the name of Mashiach Yahushua. That's the spirit we coming in. All right, give me Romans 15 verse 4.
The book of Romans chapter 15 verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right, so whichever things written aforetime were written for our learning. This is why we go back and we go into the Scriptures to reconnect with who we are. All right, without the Bible guiding us, in our history that's in the Bible, that's what guides us back to who we were. So those things were not written for no reason. When you read it in Deuteronomy, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, you're going Kings, Chronicles, you're going into the foundation of our history. And they were written for our learning, so that we could go back there and get guidance on what to do and what not to do. All right, read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the Scriptures.
Patience of what?
Of the Scriptures.
This is how important the Scriptures are to us, man. A lot of people might look at it and say, man, why you spend so much time in that book? But through the comfort of the Scriptures. So the Most High told us that these Scriptures in these last days was going to comfort us, man. It was going to give us that guide, that ability to know right from wrong, good from bad, clean from unclean. Without the Scriptures, how would we know? Our people walk around high-minded and proud in this world, thinking they know this and they know that, and they just moving with the masses. They don't know anything when it comes to the Scriptures. Right? These Scriptures are supposed to comfort us. All right, read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the Scriptures, might have hope.
Might have what?
Might have hope.
That we might have hope. Right? Hope bringing forth faith, man. Without the Scriptures, what you got faith in, man? Where's your hope? That America go on forever? You know what I mean? That the white man just continues to rule this earth? That he continues to increase his wickedness, and to what end? To what end? Okay. I would hate to see what he would do to this earth in the next 100 years. We gotta get this man out of office, man. You know what I mean? If you just look at the last 100 years of what he has done, what is he going to do in the next 100 years? Okay. Some of us, we in our maybe, 40, maybe 50s, something like that, we didn't even have cell phones when we were small. We didn't have it. The best we could talk about was a people. Or somebody was real paid. They had one of them big old car phones that was that was all hooked up in a big old box inside their car, right? If you was real paid, you had to be, seriously sitting on some bread. Now that's a joke, man. Where you going next, man? So he got to be stopped, man. He got to be stopped. But the only way we're gonna have hope and understanding on this is searching the scriptures, man. It's going into the scriptures, learning the old ways, the old path, right? Give me Job 8:8. This book of Job 8:8.
The book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
Inquire of what?
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
Right, the Bible says to inquire of the former age. What does that mean? That means search out your history, man. Your history is important. Some people say, I just live for today, man. You are talking all that old stuff. They don't want to hear nothing. Listen, your history, it says inquire. I pray thee. I mean, I'm begging you to inquire of what? The former age. Because we have moved further and further away from the Most High. Okay? Our former age, right? The ancient times, as they call it, times prior to Mashiach Yahushua coming on the earth in the world called Jesus Christ. That's called the ancient world. Okay? Since Yahushua Christ came on this earth, we've been in the latter days. But we're still in those latter days. We're still in the time period. Okay? Understand that, right? And then the next age is what? Is the new, what they call the new millennium, which means the rulership of Mashiach Yahushua. That's the next stage, biblically, according to what's going on in the Bible. So we're in those latter days. But before those latter days was what you call the ancient days, the days of Moses, the days of Job, the days of Abraham, the days. We need to search out what were they doing. Because in those days, the men walked with the Most High. Okay? The Most High was near unto them. So we need to inquire about those ages, those times, and see how they dealt. How did they interact with the Father? How did they interact with each other? How did they build their families? We're going into biblical marriage. We got to go back to Genesis. We got to go back to the beginning. I believe last class, we actually went back to Genesis and looked at the marriage of Adam and Eve, and understand that marriage was created right there. Okay, in all its text and all that marriage was created right there and then, and hasn't changed meaning up until this day. All right, read on.
The book of Job, chapter 7, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
Come on.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Of their what?
Of their fathers.
Right, so we're not supposed to be looking up Moab, what Moab was doing a long time ago. Cats will say, well, people in Tibet, they get married this way. Who cares? I don't care how they got married in Tibet. That's not our fathers. Why are you telling me about what the Egyptians was doing? That's not our fathers. We got to search our fathers in these pages. How did we do it? People get confused. They're looking at how Esau did it. The white man did it way back in the day. We don't care. In caveman days, right? When he got his name Caucasian, right? A lot of people don't know what Caucasian means. It means cave dweller. All right, that's what the word means. I didn't make it up. That's what the word means. Look the word up if you think differently. Okay. So, he might have beat his woman over the head and dragged in the cave somewhere. All right. We never interacted that way. From the time the Most High graced the earth with that seed of Adam, that seed that was continued through Seth, and continued through Eber, and it continued through Noah, continued through Eber, right? That continued to Abraham, that continued to Isaac, that continued to Jacob, right? To the 12 tribes, to Mashiach Yahushua, to the apostles. That one seed from the beginning. You can track that seed of the Most High special people from the beginning all the way to the end of the book. He always had a special seed upon this earth. He created all nations, but he had that special seed. That seed that was going to do things his way, the way of the Most High. Okay? And then you had these other nations, which did all manner of different things. But we got to search our Father so we can learn, how did we do this? How did the Most High, what did the Most High tell us? Okay, read on.
Verse 9. For we are but of yesterday.
Right, because we are but of yesterday. We boasted that I'm an old man, 50 years old. Man, listen, we reading a word that's 5,000 years old. What your 50 got to do against that? Okay. We're but of yesterday, the Bible said. Read on.
And know nothing.
And know what?
And know nothing.
Right, it's not in here. We have to go to the book because it's not in here. Sometimes they say you just got to meditate and hold a meditation. You know, get some weed, get high and hold a meditation. And the word gonna come. Ain't nothing gonna come to you but foolishness and folly. That's what's gonna come to you. Okay? You staring off into the sky, it's not gonna bring no answers. You waste time staring into the sky, you need to be staring in the book of the Most High. He said, inquire of our former age, the search of our fathers. Okay, our fathers. Who's our fathers? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. These are our fathers. Right? Noah, Adam. These are our fathers. Eva, this is our fathers. This is where we need to ground ourselves. No longer getting programmed through the, brothers going into the Willie Lynch programming. We need to cut that Willie Lynch program out. We're not slaves anymore. Okay? We're not slaves. When you come in this truth, you're no longer a slave. The scriptures say you shall know the truth, and the truth shall what? Make you free. So then why are you so acting like a slave? Why are you so acting like a Negro on a cotton plantation? When the Most High opened up your mind to these scriptures. So we need to be brave enough to walk in the ways of Yah and not be moved. But if no matter what anybody got to say. Read on.
Because our days upon earth are a shadow.
That's it on that?
Yeah.
All right. Because our days upon earth is a shadow. Give me Jeremiah. Is it 6:16? I believe it is. Yeah.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, and verse 16.
Right.
Thus saith the Most High, stand ye in the way,
right,
and see, and ask for the old path.
Ask for what?
Ask for the old path.
Don't ask for the new way.
Ask for the old path.
Don't ask on how we do it now.
Ask
right?
for the old path.
Like a lot of people, we go through things in these scriptures and they go, well, that was back then. Well, if that was back then, that's where we trying to go.
2017.
You know what I mean? It's 2017. Why are you in that old way? Right? Or you in that old law. like the law is played out. You know what I mean? Like the law is like that old style. Like I'm putting on a pair of Shams LeBaron, whoever knows what that is. Right? I got quarterfills on or something. That's the old way. Okay? That's an old style, butterfly collar. That's an old style. That's an old way. The Bible ain't old. These scriptures ain't old. These scriptures don't get old.
All right.
Okay. They reign true and as important as they were when they were given, they're just as important today. Okay. As much as our people disobedient, rebellious to this word today, guess what? We were disobedient, rebellious to the word back then too. When we were given the word, we were disobedient and rebellious. We were disobedient and rebellious in the wilderness with the chariot in the sky. And then some of us was obedient and walked with Yah. You know what I mean? You got to decide where you at, where you fall into play. Okay? Read on.
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16.
Come on.
Thus saith the Most High,
Uh-huh.
stand ye in the ways,
Right.
and see,
Uh-huh.
and ask for the old paths.
Come on.
Where is the good way?
Uh-huh.
And walk therein.
And walk therein. That's what's the most important, man. Once we figure it out, we find out, and we get this information, don't go, yeah, that was a good class, brother. Yeah, that was a lot of scriptures. And then you go back and continue doing what you was doing. Well, why did you come? You gotta ask yourself that question. Because the scriptures say, and walk therein. After you get that new instruction, after you get that guidance, you change. Okay? That's the key of these scriptures. All right? That you take that instruction and you use it. All right? Read on.
Verse 17. Oh, it's like it. 16. And ye shall find rest for your souls.
Right. You're going to find, and if you apply these commandments to your life, you're going to find rest for your soul. You're going to find rest for your life. You're going to be at peace. If you struggle and you wrestle with it, you're going to be in torment. You're not going to know. You're going to be confused because you're trying to serve two masters. Right? You want to be an Israelite. You want to keep the commandments, but I don't want to do that. Right? And that's how a lot of us start out in these scriptures. And that's a part of the learning process. At first you say, man, the scriptures sound right, but I ain't gonna be putting on them funny garments going outside. Right? Because you want to have a piece of it. But as the Most High growing, you say, yeah, it sounds good, but I ain't gonna be looking like them brothers. Them brothers look rough. And then you grow in the word. It's a beautiful thing because you're gonna grow. And before you know it, you're not going to see, it ain't going to seem that way anymore. You're going to be like, listen, what more can I do for the Most High? What more can I change? You ain't going to be trying to hold on to who you was in this world, whatever name you had in this world, Cash Money or whatever. Whatever nickname they have for you. You're going to give up that whole old man. You're going to give that whole personality. Because the Most High creating a new man. That's when you come to this Bible. You become a new man, new woman in these scriptures. All right? You might have been the queen bee, the baddest chick on the block when you was in the world. When you come to this truth, you can't be that no more. Now you're talking about the righteousness of Sarah. Now you're looking towards Judith. Now you're looking toward an inward person. Now you're looking towards, being, respected and honored by the Most High. All right? Give me 2 Timothy 2:15. This change got to go down. New creatures in the Most High.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 15.
Come on.
Study.
Do what?
Study.
Right. So what? We searching the old paths. The Bible says study. Not just read, study. How you study? You got your highlighter, you got your notebook, you recording things, you getting things. That's studying. Y'all been to school, you know how to study. You can go to school, you can read all day. And come test time, you don't remember what you read. But if you study, that means you kept going over it and you're thinking about it. You writing it down, you highlighting it, you go back to it again, you referencing it. Now you studying it, you getting it in your spirit. The Bible says what? Study. That's what he gave us. He gave us the charge that we must study. Read on.
Study to show thyself approved.
Read on.
Unto the Most High.
Unto who?
Unto the Most High.
You see, man don't care. Right? You studying the Bible, you might be talking, yeah, I'm studying this word. They looking at you like you bugging out. Why are you studying? Why is this book so important to you? They don't want to approve you. You don't get no pats on the back because you kept 2 more commandments this week. Nobody cares. Right? Yeah. But you know who cares? The Most High cares. The angels in heaven rejoice when you do righteousness, man. When you conquer Satan. They always talk about Christ conquering Satan, binding up death. He did that, so you do that. He didn't do that for just for show. He fought against Shaitan, so you will fight against Shaitan. He's the Godhead. He's showing us how to walk in the ways of the Most High. When Satan came to him, he fought him off. Just like you're supposed to fight him off. He said that the servant is not greater than the master. He said, what I'm going through, you're going to go through. So you got to fight. Right? He was well read, well studied. He was shut them down at the age of 12, man. Right? Pharisees, great man, was there talking to that man. He was shut them down. He was 12 years old. We no different, man. We are his children. We got to understand this word. We got to use this word. Okay? The only way we're going to be able to do that is if we study to show ourselves approved to the Most High Yah. Read on.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, and verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High.
Come on.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Right.
Rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right. Rightly dividing the word of truth. That's why you have no shame in what you say. I have no shame in establishing the truth of this Bible. Why? Because I can go back and I can show you where it says it. That takes the shame away. Right? When I say white man going into captivity, I don't have to be shameful about that. I don't have to be scared. Because I can go to the scriptures and show you you're going to captivity. I say the kingdom of heaven is for Israel. I don't have to be ashamed and be bashful and feel away because, oh man, I got Moab in the room and I'm talking about Israel is going to get the kingdom. Israel's still going to get the kingdom. Thus saith the word of Yah. Whether you like it, understand it, accept it or not, the burden of proof is on me because I'm the one that said it. Okay? We talk about biblical marriage. There's no shame in having your wife, your children, having your wives and your children. Where there's no shame because the Bible's saying. And there's no shame if you can prove it. But if you can't prove it, somebody might shame you. What are you talking about? I don't know. Because you waver, you don't know. They got you, Jehovah's Witness got you bent up in the front door. You don't know what to do with him. He got you going to the kingdom hall. Because you ain't been studying. How you been studying, he had to take it up the block. After talking to you for 10 minutes, he's like, man, listen, I invite them to come in. They don't want to come in anymore. A couple of them was brave, and they came in. They sat down. We opened up the word, right? Went back, I think, head, I don't know who he's supposed to be, head pastor, whatever he's supposed to be. He shut down, you know what I mean? So, and it's not because we're not gloating, it's not about us, it's about the glory to the Most High Yah. Because he told me if I study, I'm not going to be ashamed. And I'm able to say what I'm going to say and back it up. If we study. Right? Read.
I'll go to 16.
All right, that's it on that. Give me Thessalonians. Yeah, one more after Thessalonians, then we'll get back to the top. I don't want 5 and 1 Thessalonians 5:21.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 21. Prove all things.
Do what?
Prove all things.
That's real quick and to the point. But that's saying a whole lot. If you're going to say something, you got to prove it. If I tell you can't eat pork, ham, shrimp, or lobster, and all I got to say, well, it says so somewhere in the Bible. That ain't going to make it. You proved nothing. But if you say, open up the scriptures to Leviticus, the 11th chapter, give me the 7th verse, you got to put that bacon away. Let's read. Now you proving it, right? If you show people, listen, tell your brother, listen, man, you can't be committing that adultery, man. Don't be looking at your boy wife, and that's his wife. And you say, open up the Bible, give me Leviticus 20, verse 10. Most High going to judge you, man. Or you see a young man got a feminine spirit on him, and you had to call that spirit off of him. You show him in Romans 1:24 through 26. You show them in Leviticus 20:13. The Most High gonna bring judgment on you, man. That's the proof. You saying it, prove it. If it's too much for you to prove it, then it's too much for you to say it. Why? Because the Bible said what? Read that again.
Prove all things.
Come on.
Hold fast that which is good.
Right. Hold fast that which is good. Hold on to what you learned. Don't give up. Hold on to it. Prove it. Show it. Okay. Read on.
Abstain from all appearance of evil.
Right. Abstain from all appearance of evil, man. You don't want to even look like you breaking Yah's commandments. You don't even want to fake it. You don't want to assimilate yourself with the evil and the wicked. When they see you, they're supposed to say, yeah, that brother on something else. You got your fringes, you bearded up, right? They see in the law. You got your heritage. You wearing artifacts from your heritage. Whether you got your Ari, and I got my Za'ab, my wolf. You know, we got our stuff coming from our heritage. I'm not here wearing no ankh around my neck, looking all confused, right? Shave all my hair off and leave one braid out the corner side, looking crazy, talking about I'm Egyptian. Okay. Walk like an Egyptian. There's a whole song like that.
Yeah.
People crazy as hell. Right? So abstain from all appearance of evil. Read on.
And the very power of peace sanctify you wholly.
Right. So now if you do this, the very power of peace will what? Sanctify you wholly. What does it mean to be sanctified? What does that mean? Not what Marvin Gaye was talking about either. What does it mean to be sanctified according to the scriptures? Huh? What does that mean? You know what it means. It means to be set apart. It means to be set apart, to be made holy. All right? To be made righteous, set apart. Okay? To be sanctified holy, He's going to sanctify you. Okay? You don't sanctify yourself. The Most High got to sanctify you. Okay? Read on.
And I pray the Most High, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless.
Preserve what?
Blameless.
Preserve blameless. Why are you blameless? Because you prove what you do it. You saying I don't do this, I do this. I keep the Sabbath day. 6 days how a man work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath. In it thou shalt not do any work. When they catch you not working on the 7th day, you can be blameless. Oh, but we need to go do this. Yeah, whatever. It's the Sabbath day. And I stand blameless because I prove it according to the scriptures. Read on.
Unto the coming of our either one, Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Right, unto the coming of a Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's how we got to roll. All right, one more before we get into the topic. Isaiah 41. And 21. Isaiah 41, 21.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 41 and verse 21. Produce your cause.
Do what?
Produce your cause.
You got to produce your cause. Okay? If you're a rebel against this kingdom, why are you a rebel? Some people are rebel with no cause, man. They just rebellious. I don't like it. Why you don't like it? I just don't like it. You know? They just grumpy. If you're against something, why are you against it? Bring forth your reasoning. You can't just be like, man, the white man is the devil. Why is he the devil? You saying the white man's the devil, but not producing why he's the devil, man, you sound crazy, man. You sound like what they call an empty barrel. An empty barrel make a bunch of noise, man. Produce your cause. Why is he the devil? Where are you getting that from? Where does it say that in the Bible? Okay. If you can't produce it, you just like the churches, man. You just moving off of something you heard somebody say. Okay. That's not what the Most High building here, man. We're gonna produce it. We're gonna speak what we can prove. And we're gonna open up these scriptures because we study them. And we're going to prove what we say. Okay. Read on.
Produce your cause, saith the Most High.
Come on.
Bring forth your strong reasons.
Bring forth your strong reasons. Okay? What do you call that? That's the cuts. That's the precepts. That's your strong reason. And not just the precept, but you understanding the precept. And you bring that understanding forth along with the precept. Thus saith the Most High. This is what that's saying. And you break it down. This is what the Most High told us to do. That's why these classes are so important. Okay? Because in these classes, we're going to break things down all the way to layman's terms. And nobody can refute or dispute anything. Okay? You know, when you're a boxer, they say you undisputed. Okay? That means you have nobody can't say you ain't the champ. All right? You took on the best. These scriptures is undisputed, man. All right, read on.
Saith the king of Yahweh, let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen.
Right.
Let them show the former things.
Let us show what?
The former things.
Let them show the former things. How are we going to show the former things? Sure. Through the scriptures, through the history. We show the former things. Through the Torah, matching the Torah up with the history, showing that, you know, we don't just talk the game. We show that the Romans came. We show that our Gadite brothers came here, right? You know, 538 BC to the Americans, right? That was called Astaroth back in those days. It wasn't called America. It got the name America from Amerigo Vespucci, which was a European sailor. We're going to prove these things. We're going to go into the history books and show you this is what happened. It ain't about emotions, right? You ain't going to dance and do the jitterbug in here so much you got the Holy Spirit. When the Holy Spirit comes upon you in here, that means your understanding has been opened up in His Word. When that light goes off in your head, that's the Holy Spirit. When things start to become plain to you, you know the Spirit is upon you. That's how you know the Spirit is upon you. The scriptures say the Spirit shall teach you all things. I speak, I preach, bring forth reasoning. But for you to learn, that's the Holy Spirit. Man. All right, that's not me, that's the Holy Spirit. Read on.
Verse 22. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things,
right?
What they be.
Come on.
That we may consider them.
Right, that we might think about what was, how we used to be, how things used to run. We got to consider that with our lives today, how things have changed, what we need to reestablish, what we need to get back on. You know, we had to read these things and consider these things. Yo, we got to get our fringes on our clothes now because we still need to be reminded of the commandments. Why say that that's the past? Oh, you put on those old fringes and don't we still have to be reminded? So they still in full effect. We still need this. Read on.
And know the latter end of them.
And know the what?
And know the latter end of them.
And know the latter end of them. Read on.
Or declare us things for to come.
Right. So what? So we consider the past. We see how things worked out for our elders. We learned the latter end of the things that they have done. We learned that they've done well and were blessed. They've done wicked and were cursed. And then we consider it for our own lives. And then we able to what? Look towards the future. That's prophecy. I see what's coming down the line. You see how it's all mapped out right here? It's all mapped out. I was telling us how to read it, how to understand it, how to use it. It don't leave anything to our own imagination. Read on.
Verse 23.
Oh no, that's the end of that verse?
Yeah.
No, read on. Read to 23 also.
Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together.
Right.
Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you.
Right. So we're going to do something else there. So it's saying that, man, just make it happen. Right? Do good, do evil, do something. That's what people say. So we're going to do good We're not going to do evil. We're going to go into this word and we're going to understand it. Okay, thus saith the Most High. So let's get the book of Tobit. Like I said before, we're going to go into, this is the fourth class of the marriage. And right now we're going to establish the understanding, the ceremonial, part of it, of marriage. That it was something that was important as part of our culture, part of our understanding. Oftentimes, sometimes we get the wrong picture that that's not part of it anymore, because we learned that if we lay with a woman that's your wife, that doesn't mean that supersedes the ceremonial part of marriage. All right. And the other thing, we went over the dowry, and we're going to go over some more things today. I call it the book of Tobit, right? Get the book of Tobit and get the 6th chapter. In fact, before you get to the 6th chapter, get the 4th chapter. Yeah. 4 verse 12. Everybody got the book of Tobit? Everybody got it? Carl? All right.
The book of Tobit, the Apocrypha, chapter 4 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
Right. So he said, beware of all whoredom. Don't get caught up with no fast woman, no loose women. Okay. He said, beware of all whoredom. Okay. So two ways to get caught up harm: dealing with loose women, and also you not being patient, and then getting with a woman who you don't even really know. So then you get with this woman that you don't know, and might take 3 months, maybe less than that, before you're ready to like, oh man, what I get myself into? Because you were moving too fast. Okay? And if you leave that woman, you creating what? You're creating whoredoms in the land. You guilty. Okay? That's why we don't create whoredom amongst our people. Okay? Hold that and get Leviticus. Get 18 and 22. Make no whores. Yeah. They get Leviticus 18, 22. Yeah? No. Yeah. 22:17? What's that? Yeah, give me that. It's like it. Yeah, this is something else here. Yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
Right. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. All right. The other nations dealt with whoredoms. We of the nation of Israel, we're not supposed to have any whoredoms in our nation. Was there harlots? Were there whores? Absolutely there was. All right. You know the story of Tamar, right? So there were whores in our land, but what? It wasn't supposed to be that way. Okay. You said, read that again?
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. So what? No whores and no homos in Israel. It was unacceptable. Okay. It was unacceptable amongst our people. So we don't have to accept that. Okay? They teach our daughters, as soon as they get to high school, that, you know, they're going to get a boyfriend, and next you know, they're going to be having sex. Okay? They don't teach them that about no marriage with that sex. They say, you know, get a condom. That's the best, that's the most instruction they get. Don't get pregnant, because it'll mess up your future. But isn't the purpose of having sex ultimately to bring forth seed? So what are you really teaching your children? Right? If you're not teaching them, oh yeah, get a boyfriend, have sex, but don't get pregnant. Oh yeah, don't fall in love because he's gonna hurt your heart. So what are you trying to create? Right? You creating whoredoms. Right? You telling a young woman don't get too serious. You sleeping with the man, but don't get too serious. It's serious already. It's kind of late for somebody. You ain't. Oh yeah, we together, but we not that serious. What? What are you really teaching them? Friends with benefits. What you're doing is creating whores in the land. All right, amongst our people. Okay. Oh, you're too young to settle down. No. These are the concepts these are the battles that our children are underneath. We were underneath the same battle. They told us the same foolishness when we was growing up. Okay. You know, even our young men, you know, sow your oats, wild oats, sow your wild oats. You know what I mean? Before you settle down, get with this one, that one, figure out what you like. What the hell are you talking about? Where does it say that in the Bible? But this is what's taught to our young men as well. That's wrong instruction, man. That's evil instruction. You created whoremongers and whoredoms of that instruction. So now you get a young man, he get used to switching up his chick every a couple of months. And now he got to be a husband. Man, he all confused. He all jacked up. He done got a bad habit and he can't break it. All right. So then what? Strip club making mad money. These chicks making $1,000 a night spinning around a pole because your son has no control of that youthful lust. He has no control of that lust spirit. So he out there spending his whole check, right? You know, what do you call it? With diamond. Send your whole check on diamond and black china and all these chicks here. Getting your whole check. Go on, right where your check at? You know, something happened. Something happened, all right. Okay. You have your lust out of control because you were not instructed correctly from your youth, man. We got to instruct our young men too, man. You lay with a woman, you have to think you're going to be with that woman, man. So you better think about that. It ain't laying with her until you don't feel like you don't like her no more and you move on. I don't like that. That's not what the Most High said. Okay. So let's go back to Tobit. What you got? Leviticus?
1929. Yeah, that's one.
That's probably what I'm looking for. All right, give me Leviticus 19:29.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 29.
Come.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Woo. Read that again.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter,
right,
to cause her to be a whore.
Right. Now, a lot of people will say, well, who would prostitute their daughter? Right. Yeah, I think it was in the news, right? Where it had she was an officer and her daughter was with a lot of the and everybody started a lot of the officials that been with her daughter, and everybody talked retiring when this whole thing started coming out before they get fired and embarrassed on them trying to retire and get out of the way. The scriptures say do not prostitute thy daughter. If the scriptures say don't prostitute thy daughter, and I go for you, then how could you pay a prostitute? Right? Because she's somebody's daughter. Wow. So you perpetuate that sin upon her. Okay. So we ain't supposed to prostitute our own daughters. Neither shall we condone any prostitution of our daughters. You see our daughters walk up and down the street selling themselves. They on Facebook selling themselves. You know, they send you that friend request with the booty picture. And you see how many brothers damn friend that damn request, man. You should be embarrassing yourself. I talked to the YouTube world. A lot of y'all be friending that damn picture. I see y'all on Facebook. All right? Leave them damn women alone, man. She prostituting herself, you know, feel sorry for her, man. Pray for her, man, that she get out of that spirit. Okay. But a lot of times it's being done, but it's being done on a secret because they say things like this to the young woman. You got to get a man with a good job and good money, man, so he can take care of you. So now you made what? His money a good reason to be with him. What's the difference, man? You just made his money the reason to be with that man. Oh, he got a good job. You need to get with him. Oh, he got a lot of money. Look at that car. Look at his house. Look what he got. You got to get with him. Well, that's like prostitution. Because you're saying he's worthy to get with because of what? His monetary wealth. That's not why we marry. That's not why we marry. You're supposed to be looking for a righteous husband. It's going to lead you in the ways of the Most High. Guide your family. A man that can be a leader to you. Okay. That you can trust to guide you. If you don't trust the judgment of your husband, of the man that you're talking to, you got to wait a minute. You got to think about, do you want to become this man's wife if you can't trust his judgment? If you can't trust his judgment, how that's going to work? Okay. And the only way you can really trust a man's judgment is if his judgment is of the Most High. Because he's in order. If he's following, then you can follow him, and then all of y'all are in order, then your whole family's in order. Okay? So we ought to make no prostitutes of our daughters. Right? It's not supposed to be about the Benjamins. Okay? All right? It's supposed to be about his righteousness and his record. You're going to see that in the book of Tobit. All right, read that again.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 29.
Come on.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Come on.
Lest the land fall to whoredom.
Lest the land fall to whoredom, sweetheart.
And the land become full of wickedness.
And the land become full of wickedness. Because the whole land will fall. Because of what? It'll be a trend. That's how people are. One person do it. You see one, oh yeah, she married this rich guy. Now look at, she come back to the hood, you know, riding on 22s. The neighbor daughter want to do the same thing. And that neighbor daughter want to do the same thing, and everybody want to do the same thing. Because they say, wow, there's prosperity in that. They look at that, you know, and say, man, look at her. She, you know, came up. Yeah. Right? Yeah, what? Basketball wives and wives of Atlanta. What do you see there? A bunch of rich husbands and their wives, right? And they feel they're so proud, boastful, right? They go to the doctor, they get a new pair of these, a new pair of that, and they jump around and they boastful and for what? Just to what? To mar the minds of our young men, man. Our young women and our young men. Because our young women watch these women, they look up to them. Yeah. And they say, man, I'm gonna look like that. Boy. I'm gonna get my body look like that. Right? Yeah, I go to the surgeon. Let me tell you something, they making so much money, it's half price. You get yourself a new pair of breasts and behind for half price now. Because it's quantity more than quality now. They racking it out. Everybody going to the man getting there so fixed up. Tummy tuck and suck this in and take this out and add some here and put some over there. And our young men, they so foolish, they follow after that. Why? Because they're moving off of lust. They're not moving off of, is this woman a righteous, caring woman? Does this woman have the attributes of a righteous woman? Okay. Let's go back to Tobit.
The book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 12.
Come on.
Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Read.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy father.
He said, moreover, take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, man. Of your own people, man. Don't be going after these other nations, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to lay down with Miss Zane. You know what I mean? That's wicked. That's wicked. That's against the Lord and Most High to lay down with Miss Zane. Okay. You can't give your children over to Esau's children and these other nations' children. Okay. Have your children be with the seed of your own people, man. Okay. That's against God's laws. That interracial marriage is not, Most High is not with interracial marriage. All right, let's prove that further. Give me Deuteronomy 7th chapter, 7 verse 1. Let's get that out of the law. All right, he's not with interracial marriage.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1. When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land where thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee,
right?
The Hittites.
The what?
The Hittites.
Come on.
And the Girgashites.
Come on.
And the Amorites.
Come on.
And the Canaanites.
Read on.
And the Perizzites.
Read on.
And the Hivites.
Read on.
And the Jebusites.
Come on.
7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Right.
And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them.
Right.
And utterly destroy them.
Come on.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Come on.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Come on.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Everybody see that? We ain't supposed to be dealing with these other nations, man. We're not supposed to be dealing with these other nations, man. We have 12 tribes, man. You got 12 flavors, man. What you doing with them other nations? Okay. All right. Why are you running after some Hamite, Jebusite, some Hittite, Girgashite? We Israelites, man. You have these other, man, leave these women alone, man. Hey, Jake, man, Jake gets some money.
That's it.
Oh, man. He goes straight for Becky. No respect. He don't play around. And marry her too. Get on the knee and that, put the ring and get on the knee, bow down to Becky. He should be ashamed of himself. And our sisters ain't much better, right? They get that money too, right? They want a Tom Cruise on their arm too, right? They want what's the other guy they be looking at? Beckham, right? The soccer player. The other Edomite. They run to these people, okay? As soon as they get some money, you know what I mean? They want to get up with the other nations. They think it's a prominent thing. They think they look prominent that way. Or you're just making a fool out of yourself. You're just making a fool out of yourself. We ain't supposed to deal with the nations. Okay? Give me our 1 Kings 11 chapter, verse 1. Let's pull that further. Let's get some precept on that. I know I'm supposed to get to the ceremony. I'll get there. These things come up, you got to deal with them real quick. We started this class out at Romans 15, verse 4, man. We got to look to our history and see who did well and who didn't do well. Okay? See the sins they committed and the righteousness they committed. And learn the difference. Read that.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women.
Yeah, King Solomon loved many strange women. King Solomon was known to deal with these nations. That was a real Judite right there, but shots on Judah. Hey, read on.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh.
Right, together with the daughters of Pharaoh. So who's that? We dealing with Hamitic, right? Right. The daughters of Pharaoh was was Ham's children of Mizraim.
Yeah.
He dealing with the daughters of Mizraim. Not Israelites, but Mizraim. Read on.
Women of the Moabites.
Women of who?
Moabites.
Why are you dealing with them Chinese women? Why you gonna deal with no Chinese women? That's one woman ain't got nothing going on, man. Chinese woman. I don't even see that, man. I don't even get that one. You know? How you deal with Kim, man? You know? Read on. Ammonites, right? Japanese women. These Japanese women got a little more, but the Chinese women ain't got nothing going on. I don't see it. Read on. Edomites going off. Miss Ann, read on. Zidonians, read on.
And Hittites.
Right, come on.
Of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel.
What did the Most High say?
Ye shall not go in to them.
Right, don't sleep with them. But Solomon, as wise as he was, king of Israel, blessed, with all this wisdom, not understanding, but disobedient in this way. And I show you that what? You can have all knowledge and wisdom of these scriptures, but you can still be disobedient. Okay? So you got to stay humble. Even though the Most High might elevate your understanding, that don't make you righteous. You righteous because what you do makes you righteous, not what you know. All right? What you know make you responsible. What you do make you righteous. Read on.
Neither shall they come in unto you.
Right? Don't go into them. Don't let them come over to you. That means our sons not to their daughters and our daughters not to their sons. Read on.
For surely they will turn away your heart.
They will do what?
Turn away your heart.
But surely, not maybe. Surely they will turn away your heart from what? Read.
After their gods.
After their gods. How that happens? Because now you get with Susan, and Susan is part Irish. And every year for St. Patty's Day, she likes to have the whole house in green.
Yeah.
And you sit up in there with your green bow tie, looking crazy, paying homage to St. Patty's Day, and you don't even know who St. Patty is. And there's no such thing as St. Patty. Somebody made that up. Along with damn the end of the damn rainbow and damn elves and four-leaf clovers and all that madness. All right, Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms is cereal, man. That's not real. But you up in there looking crazy. Why? Because you done dealt with Susan, and she's part Irish. And this is in her background. You trying to cater to her madness. Okay. You start to cater. That's why we got to be careful with women we deal. You don't want your woman to carry you out catering to this wickedness, man. Right? A strong household, man and woman, y'all both serving the Most High. You're both looking in the book. That's strong. That's real strength right there, man. I bet that's a house that can't be broken, can't be weighted. Because y'all both looking in the book. Y'all both Hebrews. Y'all both ancestors went through slavery. Y'all both looking at this thing like, yo, we the Hebrew Israelites. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's where you want to go. Read on.
Solomon clave unto these in love. And he had 700 wives.
How many wives?
700 wives.
And he had 700. Not only was it dealing with these nations, he had a whole bunch of them. Read on.
Princesses. And 300 concubines.
And 300 concubines. All right, we went over concubines last class, right? Right, that's a marriage of different status. Okay. Marriage of a different status. And the woman you didn't go through the whole marriage, you didn't get it from her father and all that kind of stuff. This is a woman that was a servant that became your wife. That's a concubine. Okay. Read on.
And his wives turned away his heart.
And it worked. Because he had all these wives and they had all these following all these gods, these strange gods of their own nation. They turned away his heart. Now, if you got a bunch of Edomite wives, you might not want the Most High to bring judgment on America and put Esau. You might have a problem with that now. Because your wife, because you get that Edomite wife, man, that's when you want to do everything you wanted to do. Right? You're going to love Becky now. Right? She's going to be in order. You're like, man, Becky, man. She handled that business. Okay? And now you jacked up. Because now you torn. Now you start saying stuff like the Gentiles can be saved. Right? Now you start having new doctrines. Right? Now. You be seeing them new doctrines, man. A lot of y'all don't know them new doctrines because somebody got a wife, man. That'd be why the new doctors come out. Yeah, Tibet, those are real Israelites over there. Man, what the hell you got? A Tibet woman at home or something? Now you looking at Tibet Israelites now? Man, what's going on with you? All right, drop that. Give me Proverbs 5, the 5th chapter, man. Let me show you what I mean by these damn strange women. Give me 5 and 3, man. Proverbs 5, verse 3.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 5, and verse 3.
Come on.
For the lips of a strange woman,
Come on,
drop as in honeycomb.
read that again, bro. We didn't hear that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3.
All right.
For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb.
It dropped like a honeycomb. I mean, who got a problem with honey? Read on.
And her mouth.
And her what?
And her mouth.
Come on.
Is smoother than oil.
Man. Lips drop like a honeycomb, mouth smoother than oil. That's what a lot of men do. They say, man, I ain't gonna fall for her. Yes, you will. Stay away from her. The scriptures say like a honeycomb, smooth like oil. Okay. You be loving on that woman. All right. You be up there with kimchi, thinking it's all good. Right? But what's the real situation? Read on.
But her end.
But her what?
Her end.
But when you go deal with this woman, read on.
Is bitter.
Is what?
Is bitter.
Is bitter. Read on.
As warm wood.
As wormwood. Read on.
Sharp as a two-edged sword.
Read on.
Her feet go down to death.
Read on.
Her steps take hold on hell.
Man, listen, you in a lot of trouble if you mess with the nations, man. We gotta love our women, man. Ain't nothing better than Israelite women, man. Okay, nothing better than a woman of your nation, of your kindred, of your spirit, man. These women ain't of your spirit. So we gotta think clear. We gotta clear all that madness up, man. We're dealing with these other nations, man. They got some people out there, doctrines, taking the other nation as wives and making excuses about this. That's wickedness, man. All right, you need to repent for that madness and leave them damn other women alone. Like I said, we got 12 flavors. You good. Somewhere you can find something in Israel that suits your fancy, man. Read on.
Verse 6. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them.
Right, meaning that's what she'll trick you, dupe you, before you know it. See, a lot of times it don't come straight way. Satan don't say, hello, I'm Satan. Okay, he come through some other way, some subtle way. Deception and being deceived. Read on.
Verse 7. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth.
Most I say, man, follow this, man. Read on.
Remove thy way far from her.
Right.
And come not nigh the door of her house.
Read.
Lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel.
Right, come on.
Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth,
right,
and thy labors be in the house of a stranger.
You see how what's gonna happen, man? You're gonna start putting up that Christmas tree. You're gonna start giving your labors, your time over to all that, worldly stuff. Why? Because you can't be the Israelite that you are. You can't establish the truth. Why? Because your woman is another nation. And you're worrying about how it's going to affect her. All right? You know what I'm saying? You can't be cussing out the TV. You see Esau on the TV cussing. All right, damn. Your wife's sitting there, Irish as ever. And you trying to cuss Esau out. You can't do it. It's a separation in the house. Read on.
And I mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed.
Come on.
And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof.
Right. He said, man, how did I end up in this, man? That's what you're going to be saying. Damn, man, how did I didn't see this? Man, how did I end up with this woman? Be kicking yourself because you didn't take instruction. So it's very important when we're going to don't give, and we just breaking down. Take the woman of your own seed, man. Take the woman of your own nation. Read on.
Verse 13, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thy own well.
Right, that means be with your own women, man. Don't be with these other nations. You know?
Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets.
Come on.
Let them be only thine own.
Only thy own, you know?
And not strangers with thee.
That's it, man. Only deal with your own women, man, not strangers with you. And only deal with your own men. Don't deal with these other nations, you know?
Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth.
That's it, man. Rejoice with the wife of your youth, man. That wife you've had, better rejoice with her, man. Okay? Read on.
Let her be as a loving hind,
right,
and pleasant roe.
What's a loving hind and pleasant roe, man? Right? You're supposed to be enjoying your wife, man. A loving hind and a pleasant roe. What's a roe? A roe is a young deer. All right? You ever see a young deer prancing, running quick and that's how your wife supposed to be, man. Supposed to enjoy her. Read on.
Let her breast satisfy thee.
Right, let her breast satisfy you, man. Because you running in the bosom of these other nations. Be satisfied with the wife of your people, man, your nation. Read on.
At all times. And be thou ravished always with her love.
Right, be ravished with her love. All right, good marriage has what? A lot of affection. I use that word because it's the Sabbath day. Okay. Right? Supposed to have a lot of that going on. Right? Why? Because it's a good marriage. You know?
And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman?
Right.
And embrace the bosom of a stranger?
Read on.
For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Most High, and he pondereth all his goings.
Read.
His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins.
Right, so we got to be careful, man. You're going to be hold with the cord of your sins, man. You're going to get jacked up. So we went through all these scriptures to say what? Stay with the woman of your own nation. Everybody understand that? All right, let's go back to Tobit. Okay. That's only a couple of verses, man. The scriptures tell you this 20 more places. But, you know, we got to get through these scriptures. So.
All right. The book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
Read.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
Read.
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
Come on.
For we are the children of the prophets.
Right.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Everybody see that? So what is he talking about? The children of Israel. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the one we're supposed to be looking for. Okay? Read.
Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
Right.
And were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
Right. So you remember when Abraham went to get Sarai? Sarai was of his kindred. Okay. Let's look at that real quick. Let's look at that. Because there was over the confusion that happened the other day on that. Let's get that. Let's prove that right there. In the book of Genesis, of course. Genesis 11:27.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, and verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram,
right,
Nahor, and Haran.
All right. So who did Terah begat? What's the three names?
Abram,
Nahor,
and Haran.
Nahor, and Haran. Everybody got that?
Con.
Follow along, read on.
And Haran begat Lot.
And Haran begat Lot. Read on.
And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity.
So Haran died. So you have Abram and Nahor, which are what? What are they to each other?
Brothers.
They're brothers, right? Who's Lot to Abram and Nahor? Nephew. Read on.
And of the Chaldees. Verse 29. And Abram and Nahor took them wives.
All right.
The name of Abram's wife was Sarai.
Right.
And the name of Nahor's wife, Milcah.
So now you got Sarai and Milcah. Sarai, Abraham was later named Abraham, but Abram at this point took Sarai. This is Abraham and Sarah, right? And then you got Nahor took Milcah. Read on.
The daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren. She had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law.
His daughter in what?
His daughter-in-law.
So now we're clear of that fact. Because I heard people say that Sarah was Abraham's real sister or something like that. Obviously not. Because we just went over the lineage here. All right. She was his daughter-in-law, was not his daughter. All right. And some people misinterpret something else that Abraham said later on when dealing with the Egyptians as if he was my blood, that was his blood sister. That's not his blood sister. Okay. They were not blood sisters, but they were of the same kindred family, more or less cousins, but not brother and sister. Because we took cousins, we didn't take brother and sister. Never did. Okay, read on.
His son, Abram's wife.
And
they went forth with them from of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran.
That's it on that.
And dwelt there.
Yeah, that's it on that. I just wanted to get that, show you that. That we took women of our own kindred, our own nation. Okay, go back to Tobit. Yeah.
The book of Tobit in the Apocrypha, chapter 4 and verse 13. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble.
Right.
And in lewdness is decay and great wants.
Right. So he said, man, don't play around. Don't play around, man. Take a daughter, take a wife of their own people, man. All right. So he warned him. He said not to do that would be destruction. Okay. So understand how important it was. Who your wife is important. Your wife is not just a random person. Okay, that's the person you're gonna be raising up children with, building a family with, a household with. It's not no random person, man. You gotta take that decision, a very serious decision, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people, in this world, you get married for simple reasons, right? But at our time, man, we looked at the person's family, where he was from, that this whole thing was a good fit, not just how you look in that skirt. All right, it was a lot more than that. A lot more than that, right? Because it was a joint of families. Marriage was not a secret thing. It wasn't something that happened when your parents went to work and you were supposed to be at school. You somewhere getting married, right? Over and over again, okay? Let's jump to the 6th chapter. Chapter 6, verse 10. Just wanted to establish that there. And let's get 6, verse 10.
Tobit. The book of Tobit, chapter 6 and verse 10.
The
angel said to the young man, brother, today we shall lodge with Raguel, who is thy cousin.
Who is thy what?
Thy cousin.
All right, everybody see that? They're going by Raguel, which was Tobit's cousin. Okay. The angel is telling Tobit this. Read on.
He also have one only daughter named Sarah.
Mhm.
I will speak for her that she may be given thee for a wife.
Right. He said, I will speak for her that she might be given to you for a wife. So the angel is telling Tobit, this is going to be your wife, man. Okay, I'm going to make sure it happens. Read on.
Verse 11. For to thee doeth the right of her appertain, seeing thou only art of her kindred.
Of her what?
Of her kindred.
Right, because y'all family. Read on.
Verse 12. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father.
He said, and not only that, what does it mean she's fair and wise? She's smart and she look good. We matter. Yes, the fact that your woman look good, we are a woman to look good. Okay? To be attractive. All right? Nobody want their woman look like Alice Lagoon or something like that. All right? But they don't know what Alice Lagoon is. They went too far back. Popeye? Nobody Popeye? You don't know Popeye? You gotta have some age or you don't know Popeye. Right? You remember Popeye? Huh? Okay. Well, I love Popeye. Read on.
And when we return from rags, we will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses.
According to what?
To the law of Moses.
According to the law of Moses, she couldn't give it to nobody else. Read on.
But he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance doeth rather appertain to thee than to any other.
So we had laws amongst us which govern our marriages, man. It wasn't really random. We knew that this, okay, the family brought forth this daughter, and I got my family, and so we lined up. You should be with my son, or my grandson should be with your granddaughter. We had that thing locked in already. We understood what it was. We understood what the family line and lineage was. Right now, we kind of lost that. We just kind of feeling our way back, right? So most we could do right now is just stay within our nation. Because we don't know our line, lineage, and all that. But as we bring forth children, like, you got children there. You be looking for young men that's growing now in the truth and matching them up with our young daughters. Say, yeah, that's to be the truth, right? That'd be a good match for you. Because we're going to grow in this word. All right? You're going to grow up and you're going to have a strong family in this word. Read on.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, that this maid have been given to 7 men who all died in the marriage chamber.
Right. So this woman, 7 men were trying to marry her previously, and they ain't made it. They all died. Okay. So let's jump to the 7th chapter, 7 verse 1.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And when they were come to Ecbatane, they came to the house of Raguel, and Sarah met them. And after they had saluted one another, she brought them into the house. Then said Raguel to Edna, his wife, how like is this young man to Tobit, my cousin?
Right. So this guy looked just like Tobit, my cousin. Right. Read on.
And Raguel asked them, from whence are ye, brethren? To whom they said, we are the sons of Natalium, which are the captives of Nineveh. Then he said to them, do ye know Tobit, our kinsman? And they said, we know him. Then said he, is he in good health? And they said, he is both alive and in good health. And Tobias said, he is my father.
Right, so he said, Tobit, your cousin is my father. So you see the relation there? Their cousins were removed a couple of times, right? So my father is your cousin. So we kindred, we family. So then your daughters, right? I'm cousins to your daughters. Everybody see that? All right, read on.
Verse 6. Then Raguel leaped up and kissed him and wept and blessed him and said unto him, thou art the son of an honest and good man. But when he had heard that Tobit was blind, he was sorrowful and wept. And likewise Edna his wife and Sarah his daughter wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully. And after that they had killed a ram of the flock. They set store of meat on the table.
Right.
Then said Tobias to Raphael, brother Azarias, speak of those things of which thou didst talk in the way, and let this business be dispatched. So he communicated the matter with Raguel, and Raguel said to Tobias, eat and drink and make merry.
Come on.
For it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth.
What is it mean? It's meat. It's good. Said it's good that you have married my daughter. So he let him know, listen, I'm gonna marry your daughter. I came to have your daughter in marriage. And he says, oh, eat, drink, be married. It's a good thing for you to marry my daughter, because you family and all that. Read on.
Verse 11. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came in unto her.
Right.
Nevertheless, for the present be married. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another.
Till we what?
Till we agree and swear one to another.
So Tobias, what was he doing? He was going to the father. See that? And he said they had to agree one to another for this marriage to go down. Okay? So this is one step right here, you see it. When we read in the law, it says unless the father agreed to it, he can't get the daughter. Okay. Read on.
Verse 12. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful power give you good success in all things.
Come on.
Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias.
Right, so he took her by the hand and said what? And took her over to Tobias and said, you're going to be Tobias's wife. You see that? So what so after they agreed upon it, he went and called his daughter for her to come within the agreement. Everybody see this? Read on.
Saying, behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them, and called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it.
So now what's this now? This is a marriage certificate. He said he took paper and wrote it down. What did he write down? This is where he so gets a marriage license from. Okay? Comes from our history. There was a paper written. There was something documenting whose husband are you, whose wife are you, and who by whose authority. Who had the authority to bring them together? Yeah. The who? The father has the authority. So he went to the authority and got the permission to have this daughter. Everybody see that? The father sat in a position of authority in this situation and was able to what? Ordain this marriage to take place. Okay? So this is a part that we skip over a lot of times in Israel. All right? That this instrument of paper and writing needs to be done. Then you won't have confusion of whose wife is this anyway. Okay? And another reason why this is important, because if there's a divorce, that has to be in writing also. Right? Everybody understand that? Because you're going to have a paper showing, proving that there's been an authority, this was known, and it was done in righteousness to the best of our ability. Okay? It was not a secret thing. It wasn't hit him in the inbox and meet him up at the hotel and, okay, we married now. We's married now. It don't work that way. All right? It was a written agreement. She understood that this was a marriage. This is something she get into forever. It was made clear to her, right? What's going to be expected of her, what she could expect of him. It's all good. This way, there's no confusion down the lane, right? It wasn't a couple of drinks and you got tipsy, and next thing you know, you wake up and you're married. That's not it. You wake up and you fornicated. That's it. But this is when you solidify and make this a marriage. Okay? The written has to be written. Do I understand that? You see the path. He had to go to the Father. The angel sent him to the Father. Right? Okay, so now let's get I lost my train of thought. Went to the Father. Got the written paper of a certificate of marriage. Let's get the token of virginity. Let's get that. Let's get that understanding.
Oh,
22:15.
no, 14, or even 13, I say. Whichever you call. Deuteronomy 22. Oh, yeah. I know it's 15, but we're going to start at 13 or 14.
Let's get it. So now this one we got to read now only applies if the woman is a virgin. Okay. But you see, we just went over the story with Raguel. They said several men would try to go in unto her, and what? They died. Now you read on in the story, you see that he did marry the woman, and he made her smoke, and he chased the evil spirit away, and she ended up becoming his wife. All right, you can read that story in depth. I just want to get the point of the token, the written marriage certificate that he sent his wife to go get this. Okay, sent his wife to go get this. This made this thing, solidified. So you start with 13. Deuteronomy 22, verse 13.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife.
Right, so the token of virginity is the sheet that she laid upon the first time she lay with man. And she bled upon this sheet, and that sheet was folded up and given to the father as a defense for his daughter. Okay, read on.
Verse 16. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he have brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel.
Right, so it was important, your reputation. But if he didn't have that token, then he could have said anything about his daughter.
Yeah.
So it was important in our nation that we had a righteous father and daughter, that token be given to that father. That whole process, that marriage process, it's all part of the marriage process. Okay? So this is what, when you read about Joseph and Mary, this is why Joseph was thinking to put away Mary privily. Because what? He didn't go these routes. Right? He didn't get the token. He didn't go, he already had permission from the father because he was espoused, but he didn't go through the whole marriage ceremony. Okay? And get the writing done and all those things done. Okay? When you read in the book of Tobit, right after they signed that paper, they celebrated that day that they came together. It was a party. All right? So that was the wedding, the party. And then they came together in the bedchamber. And that's where the marriage took place. Okay? So this is how our marriages took place. Okay? There was no ring. There was no getting down on one knee. You know what I mean? And worshiping the woman. That's all women worship. Egyptology. That's not what the father said. Right? Women should not even want that because, it's not of our nation. It's not of our kindred. But we're supposed to get that paper. Okay? We're supposed to have that celebration. That union is supposed to be recognized. Okay? Let's get Matthews. Let me look at it first. $25. Read that Matthew 25, verse 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Right.
So what? This is a metaphor of the kingdom of heaven. But what they're using for this metaphor was what? A marriage ceremony. Okay. Do you already see that? So what it was involved in the marriage ceremony? There was a bridegroom, right? And then there was the virgins that were going to marry the bridegroom. And what did they go into? The what? The what chamber? The bride chamber.
Yeah, the bride chamber.
Right. So they went into what? That's the same thing as the bed chamber. Okay, that's where you went. After you did your whole ceremony, you went into the bed chamber to what? Consummate the marriage, what they call consummate. Okay? If you go down and you marry somebody on paper and you never slept with the woman, but you marry her on paper, you realize you could annul that marriage. Right? If you could prove, you and a woman say to the judge that we never slept together, even though we got this paper marriage, you could annul that marriage. Why? Because the marriage was never what? Consummated. That's what they call consummation. Where do they get these things from? They get it from our law. Remember the system, the law system of America, of all these societies are based on our law system. Even though they pervert our laws, that's why they call it what? A judicial system. Right? The word in there is Jew. That's why they call it a judicial system. It's based on the system of the Jews. Okay? But they have what? Changed things and augmented, made changes to the system of the Jews. So what? The marriage must be consummated with the bedchamber. That's why there should be no bedchamber without the marriage. Okay? We understand that? All right. So this is clear in the scriptures. So right here, they use that bedchamber to show how when Mashiach comes, he's the bridegroom and we are the bride. Okay? And that analogy comes from the scriptures. It comes from Isaiah, what was it, Isaiah 54? Get that. Isaiah 54. They use that analogy, but that analogy actually comes from verse Isaiah 54 and 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 5.
Come on.
For thy maker is thine husband.
That what?
For thy maker is thine husband.
Right. So our relationship with the Most High is like a husband and wife. Right? And he gave us unto his son of Mashiach Yahushua, so it's like a husband and wife. He said, for thy maker is thy husband. To be a husband means that what? You have rulership over the woman, the wife. You know what I mean? There's a dependence there. It's not an independence, a dependence. Okay? You're relying on the Most High. We need the Most High, come? Just like a wife needs her husband. And if you're a good husband, you understand that just like you want mercy from the Most High not to leave you, right? You gotta have mercy on your wife not to leave her. Without guidance, understanding, without protection, without all the things that the Lord does for us, we gotta do for our wives. Okay? So you look at the big picture, with all that you have to do as a husband to a wife, even though it might be lawful to have multiple wives, it's not easy. Because you can't, it's not like you have multiple girlfriends where they have their life and they do whatever they do and they got nothing to do with you. It ain't like that. So a lot of us see that and they run to that, but do they really count the cost? Not everything lawful is expedient, as Paul told us. Okay. You go get these wives, now you're going to have these lives to deal with. Right? And you're going to run out of hours of the day. All right? So you got to really think about what the Most High said. Remember, Solomon took mad wives, but what? Evidently, he was going off. Okay? With these wives. Not saying you can't have one wife, but you got to think of what you're getting yourself into. You got to understand marriage. That's why when I was first approached with this question, I said, you got to understand marriage before you understand multiple wives, one wife, one-on-one. Understand marriage in its entirety. You know, over these last 4 classes, including this one, you start to get a picture of marriage in its entirety. And then you start saying, man, do you really want to do this multiple times? You know, you know what I'm saying? You start looking at it and think like, dang, all that? With this one, and with this one, and with that one, and with, come on. You got that kind of resources? It ain't no game. And the Most High gonna hold you accountable. Okay. These unions are before the Most High, yeah. And he hold them accountable. Not only that, it can get expensive. Okay. Our foreparents, they married, but you know, they understood the cost. Okay. Let's get Genesis 29. Let's get back to our history. I mean, the kingdom, he said 10 wives, 10 virgins to one husband. 5 was smart, so 5 went into the bedchamber. So you could obviously have more than one, but how you going to deal? All right? How you going to maintain is the question. All right? Read on Genesis 29. Start verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 1. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks.
Right, so there was a well that was used to water the sheep, water the flocks. Okay? And Jacob comes across this. All right, jump down to the 12th verse.
Verse 12. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother and that he was Rebekah's son.
Right.
And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob.
Matter of fact, go back a little higher. Get the 10th verse.
Genesis chapter 29, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother.
His what?
His mother's brother.
The daughter of Laban, his mother's brother. So who's Laban to his mother? Brother. So that makes him to what to him?
Uncle.
His what?
Uncle.
His uncle. Laban is uncle on his mother's side. Everybody see that? Read on.
And the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled a stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother.
Right, his uncle. Read on.
And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother and that he was Rebekah's son.
Right, so what? So, when you read it that way, it sounds like Jacob was her uncle, but that's not the case, right? He's just letting her know that my father is your mother's brother. That's what he was telling her about the relations, how they're cousins. Basically, he was breaking down how y'all cousins. You ever went to like a family reunion and everybody got to explain to you how you their cousin? You see, well, your aunt this, and he went, hey, you sitting there like that, I don't know these people you talk about. And that's how we cousins, man. Cousin. You be like, they give you a whole breakdown how you cousins, right? So that's basically what he was doing, showing her that we family, we kindred, we cousins. Read on.
And she ran and told her father.
Right.
And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son,
right,
that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house.
Come on.
And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh.
Right.
And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught?
Right.
Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
Right. So, Jacob at the house, he working, helping him out. He said, man, I want to give you something for all your hard work. Read on.
Verse 16. And Laban had 2 daughters.
Had what?
Had 2 daughters.
Laban had 2 daughters. Come on.
The name of the elder was Leah.
Yeah.
And the name of the younger was Rachel.
Come on.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Right. So Leah looked all right, but Rachel was a knockout. Okay. Read on.
Verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
Right. So look at that price. People talk about how much for the dowry. He said he worked 7 years. So let's say, what's your average salary, man?
$20,000, $25,000.
Damn, is that
That low.
I would have said 40,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say 25,000. Right? 7 years. 7 times 25 is what? Right? Yeah, 150,000. He was willing to work to get Rachel. 150,000. People talking about 50 shekels. He was ready to put down 150,000 for that woman. Everybody see that? So you can't determine what the price gonna be. What the dowry gonna be is determined by what? It's determined between the father and the man that's trying to have the daughter. Y'all gotta haggle that out. Come up with some sort of understanding. Okay? He offered a hefty price from the door. Okay, read on.
Verse 19. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man.
Right.
Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. And they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
So he was fiery after this woman. That 7 years was nothing. A lot of guys nowadays, they don't want to wait 7 days. Like, girl, you got me waiting all week, man. When you don't come and see me. Like, damn, only met you last week. 7 months, forget about it. He lost interest. You want to know why you still calling him after 7 months? This man worked 7 years and what? It seemed like but a couple days then. Because what? He was determined to get that woman Rachel. Read on.
Verse 21. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
That I might go in unto, what does that mean now? That he might lay with her. Because he already got the permission from the father. He already dealt with the business portion. Now it's time for him to get his wife. Everybody see that? All that other stuff was dealt with already. So these are marriages done in the right order. All the business was taken care of out the way. Not because you paid it, and that's another thing you see here. It wasn't that what? Okay, he took care, he gave us 150,000, give me my woman right now. It don't work that way. All right? There was a understanding between him and the father. All right, you work here these 7 years. You dwell here. What do you think he was doing these 7 years with Rachel? Getting to know her. Spending some time with her. You know, she knew that she was going to be his wife. So, you know, they were talking. It took some time. It wasn't 7 months. It was 7 years. Okay. Read on.
Verse 22. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him. And he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his son daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid.
So you see the switch right there? He wanted Rachel, but who did he end up laying with? Leah. Leah was given unto him instead of Rachel. All right? You're supposed to get Rachel, you can't Leah, right?
Question.
Yeah.
When I read this, and I'm like, yeah, how you didn't know who you was laying with?
Man, it must have been some real drink in those days, man. They must have had a real party. And we'll put a switcheroo on them, man. I don't know. All right. All right. We don't know he didn't know. We know that he was expecting to lay with Rachel and ended up giving him Leah. And he might have took Leah because that's what was given to him. But he's going to handle this tomorrow morning. All right? Read on.
Verse 25.
Read on.
And it came to pass that in the morning.
In the morning, right? He didn't say nothing last night. Last night it was all right. But in the morning, read on.
Behold, it was Leah.
Behold, it was Leah. You know it was Leah last night. Come on.
And he said to Laban,
right?
What is this thou hast done unto me?
All right, why you trying to play games, man? I asked you for Rachel, you give me Leah. What is this thing you've done unto me, man? Read on.
Did not I serve with thee for Rachel?
Right.
Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
Right. Why you trying to trick me, man? All the time you told me you're gonna give me Rachel, I'm all revved up for Rachel, and then you throw Leah at me. Of course I took Leah, man, but listen, I need Rachel. You know?
And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country
Uh-huh.
to give the younger before the firstborn.
Right. So we had other laws too. And we always want to try to marry off our eldest daughter first. It makes sense. And the younger daughters leave and the elder daughter there too long. Before you know it, you can't marry off. All right, read on.
Verse 27, fulfill her week, and we will give this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
Right, he said, fulfill a week, man. Give me 7 more years, man. And you're going to get it and take Rachel too. Read on.
And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week.
Uh-huh.
And he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also.
Right.
And Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter, Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid.
Right.
And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah,
right,
and served with him yet 7 other years.
Right. So he had Rachel and Leah and still served 7 more years. Right, to solidify, that he got, that's his agreement that he would work the 7 years for Rachel. So both the daughters went to Jacob. And now his daughters were given what? Handmaids. So when they go out, they have someone to help them out. It's like almost like an assistant, right? Which was what? Zilpah, right? Have we mentioned Zilpah yet?
Yeah, that's 29.
Right, and Zilpah. Jump for process of time, jump down. Let's jump down to verse, where you at? What verse you at?
Yeah, I was at 30. Stop at 30.
Matter of fact, get chapter 30 and verse 1, yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children,
right,
Rachel envied her sister.
But Leah was having children. Rachel wasn't having any children. So what? Jacob had his wives, his 2 wives. Leah was having children back to back. Rachel wasn't having no children. Right, reading on.
And said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die.
Right, so she was getting real jealous. Right, she was killing her the fact that her sister was having children and she wasn't having none. Read on.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel.
Right, as Rachel, why you tripping? You know what I mean? I'm feeling you. You're my favorite. Yeah, Leah's giving me children, but why you tripping? Read on.
And he said, am I in the Most High stead?
Right. Do I decide if you get pregnant or not? Why are you making it my fault? So they arguing right here. Y'all don't realize what's going on. Little argument going down here. He said, am I in the Most High stead? Why are you asking me? I can't make you pregnant. I'll lay with you all day, but I can't make you pregnant. That's the Most High. He blessed your womb to bring forth child. Right? Read on.
Who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb.
Right, the Most High withheld from you the fruit. It ain't me. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with me. Because Lee over here picking out babies left and right. So my stuff working fine. Most High holding your womb back right now. Read on.
Verse 3, and she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her.
She told Jacob to take her maid Bilhah. So Jacob didn't say, oh man, Bilhah looking good. Let me go into Bilhah. She said, take my maid Bilhah. Why? Read.
And she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
Right, so let her be what, like the surrogate mother. Let her bring forth the child for this house. Because Bilhah was a part of the house with Rachel. And then he had his other house that had who? Who's in the other house? Zilpah and what? And Leah. You see how Jacob had 2 houses? He had 2 households here. It wasn't one big household. He had 2 households. That's why she didn't look at Leah's children as part of her household. You see that?
Yeah.
That was a separate household, even though it was one husband. All right? That's why we got to follow. We got to look at these things meticulously and see what's going on here. So they wasn't all one big, great, happy family, right? He had his woman, Leah, and she was kicking out babies. And he had his woman, Rachel, and she wasn't able to get pregnant. Rachel said, for this house, take Bilhah and going on to Bilhah, right? To bring to us children in this house. Read on.
Verse 4. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid,
Come on.
to wife.
Right.
And Jacob went in unto her.
Come on.
And Bilhah conceived,
right,
and bare Jacob a son.
Right. So he gave him Bilhah to what? To wife. You see that? So what does that mean to wife? It means to label her, and she becomes a type of wife. What type of wife is she going to be? A concubine. Very good. Everybody understand that? Everybody understand that? She becomes a concubine. Why is she a concubine and not a full-on wife? Because she was a handmaid. Okay? Rachel and Leah fit full-on wives. But Bilhah, she can't be a full-on wife because of her status. Okay? That's the only reason. Okay? She didn't go to Bilhah's father and get Bilhah and all these things. Bilhah was belonging to what? Rachel. As a handmaid. Like a nanny today. Right? You have the nanny will be she'll be a concubine, not the wife. You know?
Verse 6. And Rachel said, Yahweh have judged me, and have also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
Right.
And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son.
Wow, Bilhah is kicking out children for this household. For Rachel's household, you know.
Verse 8. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali.
Right, so you see that? She had issue with her sister. You see that? She said, with great wrestles have I wrestled with my sister. So what kind of issue did she have with his sister? Huh? What kind of issue? What do you think? What spirit? What spirit do you think was upon her? How about you, sister? What do you think the issue that sisters had with each other? Huh? What do you think the spirit between them? What do you think the issue between them two would have been? Say it louder. And what would you feel? How did you feel about that? Jealousy. That's right. She was jealous. That's why she said, with great wrestle against my sister. Because I was jealous of my sister bringing forth children. And I wasn't bringing forth children. There was a jealousy spirit there. But now she said, get Bilhah involved. And now my house got the joy of children also. Because he's looking over there, they like, oh, you know, when a baby's born, that's a joyous occasion. So she's like, man, another baby over there? What the hell's going on? And she getting all her feelings. What the hell's going on over here? She started looking at Jacob, want to argue with him. He's like, what am I, the Most High? I can't bring forth children. I'm doing my part. They're arguing over here now. You see the confusion that's going on here, right? To show you, even with our foreparents, Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, it wasn't just all holding hands, skipping through the daisies, because it got too wide. I don't know why people be thinking it's going to be like that. That we all going to be one group. We are family. It ain't going on that way. You're going to have a little bit of issues here. Okay? There's going to be some issues. Hold on. Give me Ecclesiastes, 26th chapter. Not going to go much further. I'm just going to go through this story and then we're going to close it up. Yeah. Of course, it's going to have to be a fifth part because there's a lot that I haven't touched yet. Let's get it. 26th chapter.
The book Ecclesiasticus, in Apocrypha, chapter 26 and verse 6.
Come on.
But a grief of heart
Right.
and sorrow
Come on.
is a woman
Right.
that is jealous over another woman.
You see that? The grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that's jealous over another woman. So why was Rachel jealous over Leah? Because Leah was having all the babies. Okay? It wasn't because Jacob had Leah and Rachel, but because she was having all the babies. And when she started having babies in her house through Bilpah, she felt better. Okay? She felt better. Because there's always, for some reason with women, there's always competition between women.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be competition. Okay? Supposed to love one another and make sure that the things you want and you need, know that your sister need and want the same things too. Okay? Read on.
And a scourge of the tongue, which communicative with all.
Right, so what does that mean? There's gonna be beefing.
Yeah.
Between the one that you're jealous with. It's gonna be an issue, there's gonna be attitude. Okay? So, understand it's always been that way. Okay, but the Most High said, listen, he's supposed to be jealous and have attitude. But what, Leah and Rachel, they had attitude, man. All right, let's go back to Leah and Rachel. Let's get it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 30 and verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left barren, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife.
So now Leah boom starts slowing down, and she's starting to see, oh shoot, they're having babies over there in Rachel's house. I gotta stay ahead of the game. So he said, man, my womb tired. How much babies I done gave this brother here? Take my handmaid now. So now, of course, Jacob was like, okay, all right, I'll take that one too. All right, so now he got another concubine in the other house. Everybody see that? It was a tit-tat between the sisters, but they didn't realize all this was working in the world of the Most High. Because by all this going down, you got the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, this ain't go down where we get the 12 tribes from. So something was being created here in the heaven on a heavenly level. See, a lot of times we men and women, we dealing with things on our level, earthly level. But there's a reasoning that's going on in the heavens why you got what you got and what you're going through, what you're going through. That you don't not aware of until later on. Most High reveal it to you and see, this is why I put you in that situation. And you're like, right? But we got to be humble to get ourselves in these positions. Jacob was humble to the ways of the Most High, right? He was a true follower of the ways of the Most High. Okay, read on.
In Genesis chapter 30, verse 10.
Because Jacob could have been carnal after he done dealt with Leah. Say, man, I don't want Leah. I just want Rachel. He could have been carnal and did that. But he was spiritual and knew that he lay with Leah already, so there's no giving back Leah. You got to stay with Leah, right? Ain't none of that. Okay, that's against the law. So you got to keep Leah, but he still wanted Rachel. That's who he loved. That's who he wanted. Okay, read on.
Book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 10. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh. Right, so Leah's like, yeah, now she said, man, a troop cometh. I'm about to have 1,000 of these children up in here. She said, a troop cometh. What's a troop? A company of men. I'm gonna have a company being born in this house. Read on. And she called his name Gad. Yep. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. Right. And she called his name Asher. Right, Asher means happy. Read on. 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the fields and brought them unto his mother Leah. Right. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. Right, so what? He brought the fruit in. She saw the fruit. Rachel loved mandrakes. Went to Leah and said, yo, give me some of those mandrakes. Man. Let's see what Leah do. Read. 15. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldst thou take away my son's mandrakes also?
Right? He says, you Jacob's favorite, and now you want to take my mandrakes too? So there was a little beef there. You take away my husband. What is she saying that? She's saying that because what? She know that she's her husband as well, but she knew that Jacob favored Rachel. And there was a little, what? Jealousy, right?
Yeah.
Because of that. So now Leah is jealous against Rachel because Leah know Jacob favors Rachel. Rachel is jealous against Leah because Leah having all the babies. You see what's going on here? Read on.
Therefore, he shall lie with thee tonight,
right,
for thy son's mandrakes.
Right. He said, listen, give me them mandrakes and Jacob will go to your tent tonight. So evidently what? Jacob had what? Certain nights that he was with certain wives. You see that? So they were actually bargaining. He said, you want these mandrakes? She said, give me the mandrakes and Jacob will go to your tent tonight. So you see right there, they had different living quarters. Read on.
16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me.
Right.
For surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night.
Right, he said, so he coming in from the field, dealing with work. He want to go lay down, get with his woman. He know that tonight he was supposed to be with Rachel. So he on his way to Rachel's house. She met him out there at the field like, brother, you going with me? Because I done paid for you. I done, gave Rachel some mandrakes. So you mine tonight. Read on.
And the Most High hearkening unto Leah, and she conceived.
And she conceived on top of that. Remember, her womb was shut up for a little while. Remember, Zilpah was bringing forth the children.
Yeah.
Right? So now Most High blessed her and said, open up her womb, right? So she made a quick move right there with the mandrakes and the Most High did bless her. Right? Read on.
And bare Jacob the fifth son. And Leah said, the Most High have given me my hire. Right. Because I have given my maiden to my husband.
Right.
And she called his name Issachar.
Issachar would mean what? Higher. Right. Read on.
19. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, the Most High hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons.
Right. He said, man, I got to become his favorite now. I done had 6 sons. Who here has 6 sons for Jacob? Just me, right? Zilpah had 2, Bilpah had 2. I had 6. You know what I mean? So she's feeling real good about herself. Read on.
And she called his name Zebulon. And afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah.
Wow. 6 sons and a daughter. She knows she was a front runner at this point. Read on.
22. And the Most High remembered Rachel, and the Most High hearkening to her and opened her womb.
Wow. So the Most High blessed Rachel now. Come on.
And she conceived and bare a son. And said, the Most High hath taken away my reproach.
There it is. The Most High has taken away what?
My reproach.
The Most High has taken away what?
My reproach.
So what was her reproach? No.
Not able to have children.
Not able to have children. Remember, the word reproach means complaint.
Yeah.
Her complaint was what? She couldn't have children. Yeah. Hold that and give me Isaiah 4 and verse 1. Get Isaiah 4 verse 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 4, and verse 1.
Read that.
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
Read on.
Saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel.
Come on.
Only let us be called by thy name.
What does that mean when a woman is called by a man's name? Marriage, right? Read on.
To take away our reproach.
Take away our what?
Our reproach.
What did these women want? They wanted to bring forth children. So they wanted to bring forth children. They wanted to have a family. So they went and got this man. right? It didn't say the man went and got 7 women. It says 7 women came after this man. So that's how people read this, they're not really reading it for what it's saying. Oh, you see, he went and got 7 women. No, he didn't. 7 women came to him saying, we will want to be your wife, to take away our what? Our reproach. The fact that we couldn't bring forth children. Man. We need a husband. Okay. There was a sense of being, the woman wanted to have this, wanted to have family. All right. Read on.
Verse 2. And that day shall the branch of the Most High be beautiful and glorious,
right?
And the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
Right, man. So what things gonna be beautiful and comely. So there was no problem with this. But it came from the woman, it didn't come from the man. Right? The man wasn't going around looking for a bunch of wives. But the women were coming to this man, right? Because they needed husbands, right? They needed to bring forth what? Children, start families. So there was a purpose behind this, okay? Let's go back to Leah and Rachel. Just want to show you, I thought that scripture is taken out of context, okay? Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 30, and verse 24. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Most High shall add to me another son.
Right.
And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto my own place and to my country.
Right. So at this point, he left from what Laban's his estate and went to move on and establish his own estate, his own household. So just want to go to that story. Of course, you know that Rachel had Benjamin later on. Okay, and that's the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so this is our heritage, where we come from and our understanding. So we touched on marriage. We didn't get a chance to go through different marriages. We'll do that next class. You know what I mean? We'll go over Ahab and Jezebel. We'll go over Ananias and his wife. We'll go over the relationship of, the different relationships in the scriptures. So we want to go over that and show the different marriages. Right here, we learned one marriage, and that's the marriage of what we'll learn 2 today, which is Tobit and Sarah, and we learned Jacob with Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Pilpah. All right. So remember, all this is for our learning. All this is to bring us back to our heritage. All this might be new and different to you. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. But you have to, we have to make sure that we're able to receive instruction from the Most High. All right. So we're supposed to love our correction. Okay. So with that, we're going to close out the service. We're going to stick a pin right there. And just understanding. Any questions before we close it up? Any questions, there, bro?
Oh, the last one with the seven women chasing him. That's like the wild oats.
No, that's not wild oats. Wild oats is you jumping from woman to woman to woman to woman. These 7 women will be your woman for the rest of your days on this earth. They're not going nowhere. These are your wives. That's not wild oats. That's these women wanted to have children, wanting a husband that they're going to stay with. Okay? That's the main thing. Staying with is the main thing. All right? When we sowing out wild oats, we ain't staying with these women. You know what I mean? When we one night them, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And, moving on. Okay? These women staying. Right? And they are the ones initiating this contact, not the man. Okay? Any other questions? All right, we got. So, tomorrow, noonday, we'll get it in. We'll go into the law, the portion for the Shabbat. The one for everybody that came out, for everybody that's online, that's logged in. Show you the pleasure and the blessing to go over the Torah and the knowledge, wisdom, understanding contained in the scriptures. With you all, it's a good topic, good understanding. We need to know these things because we all married, right? Only virgins in here are the little ones, right? And one day they want to marry, okay? right? So, you know, we got to be prepared for our children and have the wisdom, have the knowledge, have the direction for them, so they, you know, that they have understanding. Sis, you had a question? Did you have a question?
Oh, you already finished.
Huh?
You already finished.
Well, if you got a question, you can voice it.
No, but I was, I compared Deuteronomy 21:15.
Uh-huh.
It said Deuteronomy 21:15, it compared to the Jacob and other wife.
Deuteronomy 21:15. That's when the father takes the wife for his son. And if his son has another wife, right? Mm-hmm. Go read that out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21 and verse 15. If a man have two wives,
Right,
one beloved
right,
and another hated,
right. So, you know, he favored Rachel more than Leah, right? Read on.
and they have borne him children,
Come on.
both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn.
Right. So what? You got to make sure he still does things in order. So if you know your firstborn is supposed to get the majority of your inheritance. So whether she your favorite or not, that don't matter. It goes to that firstborn son. Okay, read on.
17. But he should acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion
Right.
of all that he hath.
Mhm.
For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
That's right. So the right of the firstborn is his. So, you know, that's understanding we're dealing with inheritance. So if you have more than one wife, you can't just, you know, oh, I like her better, I'm gonna give her more. No, it ain't about her. It's about them sons, about your children, about your boys. And the boys have to, you know, their birthright is given to them by the Most High, because who decides who's born first? You know, that's the Most High that makes that decision. So we as men can't get in between that. You know what I mean? That's the Most High's work right there. He decides who get pregnant when they get pregnant, who conceive when they conceive, when they don't conceive. Most High decides that, right? Okay? You don't conceive every time you lay down. So evidently, somebody taking control of this conception, right? And that's the Most High. He took control of the conception. Okay? And we can read more about that. Next class, we'll go into more of how, you know, we prayed to the Most High and how he opened up wombs. Right? That's his job, to open up wombs. All right? Any other questions? That was any other questions? Okay. All right, with that, o sea, Madem, Upanya, Yevashim, stand and face Jerusalem. Give him that 40 out. Yeah. Madem, Upanya, Yevashim, stand and face Jerusalem. Hamashiach Tapala. Let's pray. Let's go with that. Abiyanawa, Asherah, Hawa'ah, Bashamayim, Yakadasha, Yahaya, Shamka, Yahweh, Ba'ah, Mamokafka, Ya'isha, what is a one car? Ka, Bashamayim, Kan, Baharataza, Lafaf, Lanawa, Lacham, Ko, Yawam, Wasalach Nawa, Kabawaf Yanawa, Babwa'ah, Salak Yanawa, Gam, Hakayabya, Shala'at, Shalanawa, Wala'ah, Tabianawa, Al, Nasa, Akar, Lahatazayao, Lanawa, Man, Harai, Kaya, Laka, Hawa'ah, Ha, Mamoka, Ha, Kak, Wa, Ha, Kabawad, La'ilon, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the yad, Amen.
Lord's Prayer English, Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Bahashim Hamashiach Yahushai, the water the yard.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, both sides. Coming out. All right. I want y'all here online.